like that, I don't think, in my life. So it's probably number one. It was just spiritual, and I was going around, and I was going around my team saying, God's real. Like, you can't draw that one up, write that one up any better. And I was just told by Kevin Curran, it's been 3 years and 3 months. Since the last kickoff return, so it's pretty cool.
Yo, what's going on, guys? If you're some in the back, my brother as usual, y'all know how it goes. So let's get into not a regular review. Obviously, I think y'all should know it's not a regular review. We're gonna talk about the playoffs, man. Let's get into it. So let's get into it. All the weekend scores I'm gonna put up on the screen right now. So I'm not gonna really talk about them. I kind of just want to talk about the playoffs. This is a playoff edition version. So 2023 NFL playoffs. That will also go on the screen. And then I got it right here on my old phone, which is my new phone. Hopefully you guys can see the difference in camera quality, because I know I can. But so let's get into this, man. So we have the Dolphins and Bills, the Bengals and Cincinnati. Then we have the Chargers and Jacksonville. Kansas City gets the bye. Then we go to the other side. Philadelphia gets the bye. Dallas and Bucks. New York Giants versus the Vikings. Seattle and the 49ers. And then we'll probably talk a little off-season stuff later. So, game number one. Well, not game number one necessarily, but the game I'm doing number one. Dolphins and Bills. I don't expect it to be close. I don't think that Tua's going to play the rest of the season, and I don't see Teddy Bridgewater playing the rest of the season either. So I think that'll be a relatively easy one. As much as I want to pin Cincinnati, I'm going to go with the Ravens. I think Cincinnati is going to take the Ravens lightly because they literally just beat them. So I think they might take them. They might take them lightly and end up beating them and making it to the second round. I think they're going to get blasted by whoever I pick to win the next game, but I think that might happen because just based off Cincinnati taking them lightly, because Cincinnati is a superior team. So then we got the young guns. We got the Chargers versus Jacksonville. Now, the Chargers didn't look good this week, but I think I'm going to go with Jacksonville. Jacksonville is hot right now. Jacksonville was like 3-7 or some point at one point in the season. Now, granted, with the Tennessee collapse, it made it a lot easier to win that terrible division. But I think Jacksonville is feeling it. This is both of Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert's first playoff game, and I think Trevor Lawrence is going to get it done. He's going to get blasted by Kansas City. I'm not sure how the second round works out though. We're gonna take this week by week. So we on the other side we have Seattle and the 49ers. Divisional game. I think it's gonna be close, but I think the 49ers just has too much talent. Brock Purdy has been playing out of his mind. Like, he was a first round pick. That's a little hyperbolic, but you guys know what I mean. And I think they run away with it against Seattle, who just snuck in because of Aaron Rodgers. We'll get to Aaron Rodgers a little later in the video. So then we have the Giants and the Vikings. I have no faith in the Giants. Kirk Cousins is my preseason MVP. Obviously, that didn't work out, but I'm going to go with the Vikings. I think the Vikings have way more to prove than anybody else in this bracket. So I'm going to go with the Vikings. In a close one, most likely. They probably got to come from 21 down. Y'all know how the Vikings do it. Then we have probably the highest rated playoff game in probably the last 10 years. I know for sure the date on this game. This is a Monday night game. We got Monday night, Dallas, Brady. Dak Prescott versus Tom Brady on Monday night. Everybody's going to be watching this game. Even if you're not a huge football fan, I'm almost definitely sure you're going to watch this game. I think the Bucs are going to win. I just can't trust Dallas. I can't trust Dallas. There's no way in the world that you're gonna force me to trust Dallas. I just can't do it. They burnt me last year, just like the Raiders burnt me last year. That's why I picked the Raiders to lose. I'm gonna do a reaction to all my old takes at some point this summer, or at some point within this, probably it's not All-Star in the NFL. Pro Bowl week, I'll probably do a Pro Bowl week. We'll see. So yeah, that's what I have. That's what I have for Wild Card Weekend. But we're gonna get into some other things and my Super Bowl picks. Regardless of the matchups, I'm going to go. I have two. It's either going to be Philly, Kansas City, or it's going to be Kansas City and the 49ers. And a dark horse prediction, which I don't think will happen, is Bills 49ers or Bills Eagles. So as you can see, I only got about 4 or 5 teams that I actually think they're going to win. So, but if you have to nail me to the wall and say pick one, I'm probably going to go Kansas City 49ers. As much as I love the Eagles, the Eagles have to prove to me that they can get there. Now, everybody knows I love Jalen, but I want to see him do it on a bigger stage. And Jalen dealing with those injuries and them losing Lane Johnson was a huge loss. And not sure when he's going to come back. I'll put it up here. But it just makes me a little eerie on Philly. Same thing with the Bills. Like, the Bills are decimated with injuries. Guy they brought in to be that guy is hurt. So that's what makes me a little hesitant to pick Philly or not. To pick Philly and to pick the Bills. Because if I had it my way, I'd probably want Bills, Philly. That's kind of what I want to see. Because everybody knows I love me some Cam Newton Jr. and Josh Allen. But so yeah, those are my Super Bowl picks. You might be like, Keith, that's all over the place, but that's how my mind processes it. So yeah. So other than the playoff stuff, we're going to briefly talk about some of the other things that happen in the NFL. Lovie Smith has been fired from basically winning and making them lose the number 1 pick. I'm watching the game. Lovie Smith is going for 2, and he like, F it, I'm done. And he had to know that he was going to get fired. Lovie Smith has always kind of caught a raw deal. It sucks for him. He needs to go ahead and just go to HBU. Hell, go to Jackson State, or anywhere down there, because we could use some more great coaches since the great coach up and ran. So yeah. I think Lovie Smith found another job, or he might sit down somewhere. Lovie Smith's not a young guy. Aaron Rodgers. I think we all know that was his last game in Lambeau. That was his last game in that green. I think wherever Tom doesn't go, Aaron is going to go to the other team. Say if Tom don't go to the Raiders, well, I don't think he'll go to the Raiders because of Devontae. I don't think he'll go to the Raiders because of Devontae, but that's always an option. So wherever Tom doesn't go, and who knows, Tom might retire. I doubt it, though. There's no reason that you was fighting for the divorce stuff, and then you up and retire, So, give me another one. Lamar. Don't think Lamar is going to play. I don't know why these reports keep coming out as if Lamar is going to play. I don't think Lamar is going to play, period. Call it Ravens. It's over. Call it, period. He's not playing. Let it go. Unless y'all give him that contract tomorrow, he's not going to play. And let's call it for what it is. Lamar is still hurt. He's hurt. And he's not going to rush back to play in a game that if he hurts himself even more, you guys are not going to pay him. Y'all really not going to pay him. So what's the point of Lamar even coming back? Like, I agree with Richard Sherman. I'm done. I'm not coming back until you sign me to that $300 million contract. Guaranteed. Shout out to Deshaun. And speaking of Deshaun, people are saying, oh, what about Deshaun? What about Deshaun? Deshaun doesn't look very good. He was out of football for 2 years. Now, the second one was his own doing. The first one, he was lied to by the ownership in Houston. So, it's essentially his fault that he sat out. But I've seen flashes to where I'm like, okay, well, Deshaun is getting there. Deshaun is definitely getting there. So I'm not too bent out of shape about Deshaun having a okay comeback. I haven't looked at his numbers. I put his numbers up, his season numbers up on the screen. So he hasn't been great. But if you watch the games and study him, you could kind of see that coming back. So I think I said this last week. I'm going to give him to Thanksgiving. I'm going to give him to Thanksgiving of next year. If he doesn't look good, then I'm out on Deshaun. But speaking of teams underperforming, we have to deal with the Chicago Bears. Now, the Chicago Bears have the first pick now, which is why Lovie Smith was relieved of his duties, because he won the game against the Colts. So if I'm the Bears, and I think I'm going to clip this, if I'm the Bears, I'm trading that pick for a haul. I'm trading that pick for 3 first-round picks for next year, two second-round picks for this year, next year, three fourth round. I'm getting a king's ransom for Bryce Young, which is essentially what you're trading that for. Because I believe that Justin Fields, you give him talent, you see what he do. You give Trevor Lawrence some talent, you see what he do. So you see what he did at Ohio State when he had the talent. You see what Tua did when he had the talent. So, like, you got to give these young guys talent to work with, which is what Lamar is doing, and to a degree, what Joe Burrow is doing is so amazing. I know Joe Burrow has Jamar Chase, but we all know he has a terrible offensive line. Justin Herbert is in that category as well, but he also has top-tier talent on his offense. But you have to build this team. I know that's hard to get, Bears. I know you guys been defensive oriented for 80 years. You have to change your philosophy in order for this guy to win, or he's going to turn into Mark Bolger. And me being a St. Louis Rams fan, and anybody knows about St. Louis Rams and how terrible they was on the offensive line when Mark Bolger was here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now he's more elusive than Mark Bolger could have ever dreamed of being, but you don't want him getting hurt behind it. You don't want him getting hurt behind that offensive line. So I say trade the pick, build that offensive line. You got Chase Claypool. You got that other young receiver. You might want to try to entertain getting Robbie Anderson, seeing what Robbie Anderson can do for you. And just build that offense so your first round pick quarterback, who's always shown that he's electric, can be more dynamic. Like, could you imagine Lamar if he had top tier talent? If he had a number one receiver, give Fields the number one receiver, give him a average offensive line, at least average. You got to get the average first because y'all are terrible. So at least get to the average. Yeah, that's my brother. Don't worry about it. Give him some talent. Give him some talent. Brady. I think I talked about Brady briefly. I don't think Brady's retiring anytime soon. I think Brady is going to go to another team, make the playoffs, and would not surprise me at all if Brady won another Super Bowl. Would not be surprised at all, honestly. So, one more thing. Then I'll get out of here. Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury is out of there. The GM steps down, and you have a injury-prone small quarterback that's coming off. I think he had an ACL surgery that wasn't successful. It's a lot of mess to clean up. It's a lot of mess to clean up in Arizona. And I don't know who's decent for that job. Lovie Smith wouldn't be good for that job because he likes to motivate. He likes. I just don't think Lovie Smith fits it. I don't think Lovie Smith wants to go through a rebuild because that's what Arizona is about to go through. Is a rebuild. So I think that'll be good next year. That'll be better next year if they can get a coach that knows how to execute in the fourth quarter or execute in the first quarter rather than playing catch up through the whole game. And just an overall better motivator. So I think that'll be fine. But it's going to be a long road back to recovery for Kyler. So he got the money. He'll be okay. So that's all I got for you guys. If I remember anything else, obviously I'll pop in and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Enjoy the rest of you guys' day. Stay warm out there, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the new camera and the new look I got. Shout out to Pixel.